The Santa Fe Railroad once attempted to create, steam locomotives with flexible boilers. It didn't go very well. Now, perhaps some of you are a bit confused because, okay, why are we doing that? What's wrong with simple articulates? What's wrong with Mallets? We don't have to make the boiler flex, do we? Well, the issue at the time, and this was 1910, 1911, was that, while Mallets did offer some articulation originally as built, only one of the sets of drivers was actually articulated on a classic Mallet, the front ones. The rear set was rigid. This is because Mallet did not believe it was a good idea to make the high-pressure steam pipes on his design flexible. And you can kind of understand why that would be an issue. But over time, people started experimenting and making both sets articulated, and simple articulates do it that way. So that's nice. But why are we making the boiler flex? Well, the issue they ran into was boiler length. It gets to a point where even if both sets of drivers are articulated, the boiler overhang becomes a little extreme in some areas, restricting where a locomotive can operate. And thus, Santa Fe was like, well, what if we made the boiler bend? To which I hope someone said, that's a friggin' awful idea, but okay. By making the boiler bend, fixing the front part to the forward drivers, that removed the overhang issue, but it created a lot of other problems. See, for one thing, because they were concerned about making the jointed section pressurized, because a boiler is pressurized by its nature, basically, there's no actual extreme pressure in the joint section at all. And therefore you may be wondering, okay, then what's the point of it? Good question. The idea originated with Samuel Vauquelin of Baldwin, because it was discovered that, at least with boilers they had back then, combustion gases were actually no longer transferring heat to water once they reached 22 feet ahead in the boiler. So there was little reason to make it do that. As a result, technically speaking, this isn't a flexible boiler at all. The actual boiler stops before the flexible section. Thus, that joint is not under steam pressure, but only passing hot gases through to a superheater in the forward section, as well as a reheater for the low-pressure steam going to the front set of cylinders, as well as a water preheater. That's how it worked, and it was really stupid. Outside of eliminating the overhang, there was very little benefit to doing it this way. It really wasn't that efficient of a boiler design whatsoever. Santa Fe would purchase 6 of these locomotives built to this design. They were 2 662s, and they all had a jointed section, though the type of joint would differ over time because the original design did not work very well. At first, the way they handled the joint was to use metal bellows, elastic vessels that could be compressed when pressure is applied to the outside. This joint, made out of the bellows, consisted of several pairs of concentric tapered steel rings. They were each riveted to the one next to them along alternating inside and outside edges. Now, it did result in a flexible section, but the problem was coal, or specifically coal cinders. They like to get stuck in the bellows, and if they did that, it would force the seams open when the bellows were compressed. And there wasn't really a good way of preventing that, so instead they switched to a completely different design that consisted of a double ball joint assembly that just used cast iron sleeves. They were fitted one within the other and provided with compression straps to keep the joints airtight while allowing for lateral movement. And that worked better than the bellows had, but still resulted in some notable problems. other than the fact that the overall design wasn't particularly efficient from a boiler perspective. The fact is, eliminating the overhang with the flex proved not very cost-effective. While intended to reduce track wear on curves and improve riding characteristics, it was found that it may have improved track wear, but it definitely didn't improve riding characteristics whatsoever. These flex boilers rode real rough. And far more problematically, the flex, while they may have reduced track wear and maintenance on the rails, they dramatically increased maintenance on the locomotives themselves. I want you to conduct a little experiment at home, and maybe you don't even have to do this, you probably already know. Bend your elbow back and forth, repeatedly. Just do that for a while. Now, eventually, that's going to start to hurt. Also, stop before it actually hurts. I don't want you to actually hurt yourself, but my point is that you probably know that if you keep bending a joint in your body, eventually it's going to get sore, right? Yeah, that's pretty normal. That's normal wear from a joint. It happens to pretty much any kind of joint. The difference here is that, as living beings, our joints, generally speaking, as long as you don't have any serious ailments, will heal from that. And you'll be able to use it again to, well, whatever you're using your arm for. I don't know what you're doing right now. But metal in a locomotive is not like this. And basically, the joints wore over time pretty quickly. Enough that it was a constant headache. They kept having to fix it so it didn't burst open. The increased cost of having to manage this nonsense was well in excess of the cost reductions in terms of track maintenance. And it was one of those issues that really couldn't be overcome, especially with technology at the time. There were really only two ways to make the flexible boiler. The bellows just flat out broke, and the ball joints lasted long enough to function, but not so long that they didn't become a maintenance headache. The locomotives weren't complete losses. They did work well enough that Santa Fe just decided to keep them running for about 15 to 18 years, which is not that bad, but they never built any more, and as far as I know, no one else ever attempted to do this. The only other place I've ever seen it were Baldwin's patents for unbuilt proposals, filed in 1913, for quadruplex and quintuplex locomotives, which would have been so ridiculously enormous that they needed to have flexible boilers. But for obvious reasons, those weren't built because no! And over the years, we had more efficient boiler designs that didn't have to be as long, as well as much better methods of articulation that were able to help railways deal with overhang problems without making the boiler bend. Till next time, this is Darkness, and I bid you all a fond farewell.